Hi my friends, welcome to our challenge course English in 50 lessons. I really hope that you thoroughly enjoy learning English here. So if so, that's absolutely amazing. And I firmly believe that we need to have as much practice as possible. Let's get down to practice and master our practical skills. Really, it's absolutely essential. So what do we need to do here? You see some sentences and we need to replace these basic structures with more complicated ones. Let me give you an example. So, it isn't surprising that I really enjoy learning English here because it changed my life greatly and it helps me reach a new level in my career and personal development too. It sounds quite good and I suppose it's about the level B1. Not so bad, especially in the beginning, but we need to reach this level, C1. We need to be on the right track. So let's do something, to reach this level. Let's replace these basic structures. So it isn't surprising that what can be said instead of that. Actually, we talked about it in the previous lesson. Please have a look at it just to make sure that you remember everything correctly. You see, it isn't surprising that. So the question remains the same. What can be said instead of that to sound more advanced? For example, not surprisingly. Not surprisingly. So if you ask me, I particularly like this phrase, not surprisingly. Not surprisingly. Or there is one more alternative. We can say it in one word. Unsurprisingly. 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 Or not surprisingly. If you say it isn't surprising that's okay, but we can't compare it with a phrase, you see, like unsurprisingly or not surprisingly. It's another level, and we all see it very clearly. Unsurprisingly, not surprisingly. Then, I really enjoy learning English. Okay, so let's use the verb enjoy. And what can we say? In addition to really. Do you remember this collocation? I thoroughly enjoy. I thoroughly enjoy. I particularly like this phrase. It's really an amazing expression. I thoroughly enjoy. I thoroughly enjoy. I thoroughly enjoy learning English here because, students, I suppose say because too often. Let's use, for example, what instead of, this word. Since. Since. It has a similar meaning. Since. Since it changed my life greatly. And I just want to add one thing, that everything has already been studied. You just need to look at the previous lesson, if you really want to feel much more confident when speaking English and doing these exercises in particular. So, greatly, it changed my life greatly, or profoundly. Profoundly. It's changed my life profoundly. Next. It helps me. It's okay. But let's try to use an inversion here. It does help. It does help me reach a new level. A new level. There is one more amazing expression with the word heights. A new level or new heights. New heights in my career. This preposition is very common. So let's try to remember the phrase which was used in the first lesson. In terms of. In terms of. And I really have to say that native speakers tend to use this expression so often, in terms of. It means like, related to or concerning, in terms of my career and personal development too. Not to, but as well. As well. And we don't need a comma here. So, what do we have as a result? Unsurprisingly, or not surprisingly, I thoroughly enjoy learning English here since it changed my life profoundly, and it does help me reach new heights in terms of my career and personal development as well. And I also want to point out that I'm not a magician. You can also reach a much higher level in English. You just need to learn these amazing expressions and start using them in your daily English practice. Alright, what's next? To find a solution to such a difficult problem is very important. So to finding a solution to such a difficult problem, to such a complicated problem is very important. Really, let's get rid of this word very. Is vitally important. Finding a solution to such a complicated problem is vitally important. I said that, and I'd like you to see the fact that the company doesn't publish much information about it. I said that. Let's try to use more advanced grammar. So it will be having said that, I'd like you to see the fact we can use the word attention. I'd like to draw your attention to the fact that the company doesn't publish much information about it. So it's about transparency. The company lacks what? Lacks transparency. Or the company isn't transparent enough. Or the company lacks transparency. Having said that, I'd like to draw your attention to the fact that the company lacks transparency. There is no need to say that taking good measures during the crisis is very important. There is no need to say that. Okay? Needless to say. Without that. Needless to say, taking good measures, good or appropriate or proper measures during the crisis is very important. Is vitally important. Or is of vital importance. Is vitally important. Needless to say, taking proper measures during the crisis is vitally important. Finding a solution to such a complicated problem is vitally important. Having said that, I'd like to draw your attention to the fact that the company lacks transparency. Needless to say, taking proper measures during the crisis is vitally important. Next, no one has treated me so badly. It was absolutely terrible. Let's try to use present perfect passive here. No one has treated me. I can say, for example, I've never been treated so, and if it isn't right, so unfairly. I've never been treated so unfairly. It was absolutely terrible. And there is one more word which has a stronger meaning, is the word disgusting. Disgusting. It was absolutely disgusting. I've never been treated so unfairly. It was absolutely disgusting. I can't understand what's happening. I can't figure out what's going on. I can figure out what's going on. I'm really sure it was such a good result. So, right, you can say I'm absolutely sure, or no doubt. No doubt. It's one possible solution. No doubt. Or you can say it in one word. What will it be? Undoubtedly. Undoubtedly. Undoubtedly, it was such a good result. Not a result, but an achievement. It was such a good achievement. But the rule is that we need to get rid of such simple words as good, bad, like, very, and so on. I hope that you remember this simple but extremely important rule. Alright, let's get back to the last sentence. So, such a good, you can say, for instance, such an outstanding. Such an outstanding achievement, or such a remarkable achievement. Undoubtedly, it was such an outstanding achievement. I realized suddenly that I'd made a very serious mistake. Let's use a phrasal verb here. It will be, it dawned on me. It dawned on me that I'd made a very serious mistake. If this mistake is really so serious, we can say a crucial mistake. A crucial mistake, if it's really so serious. It dawned on me that I'd made a crucial mistake. It dawned on me that I'd made a crucial mistake. I've never been treated so unfairly. It was absolutely disgusting. I can't figure out what's going on. No doubt, undoubtedly, it was such an outstanding achievement. It dawned on me that I'd made a crucial mistake. It's very important. It's vitally important. Or it's of vital importance. It's of great importance. It's really awesome. Really is okay, but there is one more word which really can help you sound much more advanced. It's truly. This word has a similar meaning. It's truly awesome. It's truly awesome. I realized suddenly that a very serious mistake had been made by him. I realized suddenly. So we can use a phrasal verb here. It dawned on me. It dawned on me that a very serious mistake. So really, if this mistake is of great importance, if it's of vital importance, we can say a crucial mistake. A crucial mistake had been made by him. It dawned on me that a crucial mistake had been made by him. It's really surprising that they're still living in such terrible conditions. It's really surprising. So what can we say instead of this expression? Surprisingly enough. Surprisingly enough. Surprisingly enough. Surprisingly enough. They're still living in such terrible. So if they can't tolerate these conditions any longer, we can say intolerable. Intolerable. So these conditions are really so bad. Intolerable. They can't tolerate them any longer. Intolerable conditions. Surprisingly enough, they're still living in such intolerable conditions. Intolerable conditions. It's vitally important. It's truly awesome. It dawned on me that a crucial mistake had been made by him. Surprisingly enough, they're still living in such intolerable conditions. I realized suddenly that it was a very serious mistake. I realized suddenly. We can use this phrasal verb one more time. It will be, it dawned on me. It dawned on me that it was a very serious mistake. If this mistake was really so serious, we can say a crucial mistake. A crucial mistake. It dawned on me that, or without that, it was a crucial mistake. It dawned on me that it was a crucial mistake. I find this behavior really terrible. Really? To sound more advanced, you can say absolutely. Absolutely terrible. I found this behavior absolutely terrible. I found this behavior absolutely terrible. It's of great importance, or it's of vital importance. It's of vital importance. It sounds stronger. It's of vital importance. There is no need to say that taking good measures during the crisis is of great importance. Let's remember this expression. Let's try to do it. Needless to say. Needless to say. Without that. Taking good measures or taking proper measures during the crisis is of vital importance. Vital importance, or is vitally important. Needless to say, taking proper measures during the crisis or taking appropriate measures. But actually proper is mostly suitable for this level, I mean the level C1. Needless to say, taking proper measures during the crisis is of vital importance. It dawned on me that it was a crucial mistake. I found this behavior absolutely terrible. Or, for example, totally inappropriate. It's of vital importance. Needless to say, taking proper measures during the crisis is of vital importance. To be honest, that's the most pleasant feeling I've ever had. In other words, I can't forget this feeling when you do everything possible, when you work really hard, and this hard work has a good effect and brings results in the end. To be honest, I mean that there is nothing wrong about this expression, but we can, make it sound more advanced with the help of the word perfectly. I mean to be perfectly honest. To be perfectly honest. It's a more advanced expression. To be perfectly honest, that's the most pleasant feeling I've ever... Okay, most students know such verbs as to have, for example, to live, to work. Let's try to use actually more difficult, more complicated verbs. Like, I've ever experienced. I've ever experienced. In other words, to put it another way, right, that's most suitable for this level, I mean the level C1, C2. To put it another way, I can't forget this feeling. So, it's an unforgettable feeling. It's an unforgettable. It's an unforgettable feeling when you do everything possible, when you do your best, when you do your best, when you work really hard. We can use gerund here. Not when you work, but working. Working really hard. Really? Yeah, it's okay. But if you actually working so hard, you can say working incredibly. incredibly hard, and this hard work has a good effect. Let's use a phrasal verb here. Work pays off. Pays off. That's the first thing. And the second thing is that we can try to use an inversion here. It will be hard work does. Does pay off and brings results. And bear fruit. And bear fruit. Bear is because of does. It means it does pay off and it does bear fruit in the end. Hard work does pay off and bear fruit in the end. Good. Very nice. I feel that we are on the right track. It's really impressive. We can replace it with a strong adjective, which means very impressive. And this adjective is magnificent. Magnificent. It's really magnificent. Alright? So remember, it's truly awesome. And similarly, we can have it's truly magnificent. It's truly magnificent. It was terrible. So the rule is that if you want to strengthen your point and try to sound more advanced, use absolutely with strong adjectives. Right, you just need to know some tricks to sound like a native speaker, and these tricks can help you a lot. Absolutely. Alright, so let's add this word absolutely, and it will be it was absolutely terrible. It was absolutely terrible. It was absolutely terrible. To be perfectly honest, that's the most pleasant feeling I've ever experienced. To put it another way, it's an unforgettable feeling when you do your best working incredibly hard, and this hard work does pay off and bear fruit in the end. It's truly magnificent. It was absolutely terrible. I really enjoy learning English. Right, you can say I thoroughly enjoy learning English. Or I get a real kick out of learning English. I get a real kick out of learning English. I thoroughly enjoy English. Or I thoroughly enjoy learning English. Or I get a real kick out of learning English. It's wonderful. You can add the word absolutely. It's absolutely wonderful. Or it's absolutely magnificent. You can also say it's awesome. Or it's absolutely awesome. It's absolutely wonderful. It's absolutely magnificent. It's absolutely awesome. These two words, the words magnificent and awesome, are more difficult in fact. I have a very interesting solution to such a difficult task. Let's try to get rid of such simple words, such words as interesting and so on. Interesting but strange can be, for example, unusual. A very unusual solution to such a difficult. If this task is really so difficult and it isn't so easy to deal with, you can use a complicated task. I have a very unusual solution to such a complicated task. It's really bad. if it's really so bad, it's terrible. Or it's absolutely terrible. It's absolutely terrible. And you know, I came up with one more absolutely amazing expression. It's a real nightmare. It's a real nightmare. Really? It's a real nightmare. It's one more collocation. Nightmare. It's really terrible. It's absolutely terrible. It's a real nightmare. Alright, so you see, I thoroughly enjoy learning English. I get a real kick out of learning English. It's absolutely magnificent. It's absolutely awesome. I have a very unusual solution to such a complicated task. It's absolutely terrible. It's a real nightmare. And definitely, you know, this expression is more advanced. It's a real nightmare. But this one is also really good. I'd like to say that it's a very beautiful view. Try to use a phrasal verb here. I tried to point out that it's a very beautiful view. It can be said, for instance, it's a very impressive view, or it's a magnificent view. But if this view really takes our breath away, it will be it's a breathtaking view. It's a breathtaking view. To put an emphasis on it, we can add the word absolutely. It's an absolutely breathtaking view. I'd like to point out that it's an absolutely breathtaking view. I really enjoy training at the gym. You can say I thoroughly enjoy, or I get a real kick out of training. One more phrasal verb can be used here too. It will be of working out at the gym. I get a real kick out of working out at the gym. I get a real kick out of working out at the gym. I can't understand what's happening at the moment. I can't figure out. I can figure out what's happening, what's going on. You see that all these sentences are full of phrasal verbs, and that's absolutely amazing. I thoroughly enjoy using phrasal verbs. What about you? Do you have the same feeling? I can figure out what's going on at the moment. I'd like to point out that it's an absolutely breathtaking view. I get a real kick out of working out at the gym. I can figure out what's going on at the moment. He's a writer who works a lot. He produces a great number of different articles yearly. He is a writer who works a lot. It means that he writes so many books or maybe articles. So he is a prolific writer. He is a prolific writer. He produces, let's use a phrasal verb here, he churns out. It means that he produces a lot. He churns out a great number, and if it means that it's such a large number, we can use the word numerous. Numerous. He churns out a numerous number of different, and different is okay, there is nothing wrong about this word, but we can use, for example, various instead of different, of various articles yearly. Number of various articles yearly. He is a prolific writer, or he is such a prolific writer. He churns out, right, that's good, but let's try to use gerund here. So, been, a prolific writer, or been such a prolific writer. Yeah, we also need to use more advanced grammar here. Been such a prolific writer, or been such a very, but honestly, I don't like this word very so much. So let's try to say it this way. Being such a prolific writer, he churns out a numerous number of various articles yearly. Next, it's really good. If it's really so impressive, we can say it's really magnificent. It's really magnificent. Or it's really awesome. It's really awesome. You see. However, if we want to strengthen our point, we can replace really with absolutely. It's absolutely magnificent. It's absolutely magnificent. It's absolutely awesome. It's absolutely awesome. It's absolutely magnificent. It's absolutely awesome. That's the best course I've ever met. So, if we're talking about the quality of the course, how effective or ineffective this course is, we can use this adjective, the adjective effective and a superlative form. So, that's the most effective course I've ever, and let's use a phrasal verb here, I've ever come across. I've ever come across. That's the most effective course I've ever come across. That's the most effective course I've ever come across. Being such a prolific writer, he churns out a numerous number of various articles yearly. It's absolutely magnificent. It's absolutely awesome. That's the most effective course I've ever come across. I'm really sure it was such a good result. Right, what could have been said here as well? I'm absolutely sure. I'm absolutely sure. Or I'm absolutely certain. It's a more difficult expression. I'm absolutely certain. If you like the word doubt, let's say no doubt. No doubt, or how will it be in one word? Undoubtedly. 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 It was such a good result. Let's replace the word result with the word achievement. Achievement. Such an outstanding achievement, or such a remarkable achievement. I'm absolutely certain, no doubt, undoubtedly, it was such a remarkable achievement. That's the best idea I've ever had. So, our idea can be brilliant or absolutely brilliant. That's the most brilliant idea I've ever. So, you remember this phrasal verb? Come up with. I've ever come up with. I've ever come up with. That's the most brilliant idea I've ever come up with. That's the most brilliant idea I've ever come up with. I'm absolutely certain, no doubt, undoubtedly, it was such a remarkable achievement. That's the most brilliant idea I've ever come up with. The last important point is that, as you might know, looking at your great efforts, hard work, and strong desire to continue, I expect a very good progress from you, so I'm waiting for your success, which might happen suddenly. Never surrender. Never surrender. So the last important point is that last but not least. Last but not least. As you might know, let's try to say it in the past. And we can use, for example, the verb guess. As you might have already guessed, last but not least, as you might have already guessed, looking at your great efforts, if your efforts are really, great, and we all admire them, your titanic efforts, hard work, and strong desire to continue. Hard work, if you're so hardworking, if you're so diligent, I can say diligence. Efforts, diligence, and strong desire to continue. It's about perseverance or persistence, and perseverance, diligence and perseverance. Titanic efforts, diligence and perseverance. I expect a very good. So really, if I expect a great progress from you, a gigantic progress from you. I expect a gigantic progress from you. Really, it can sound unbelievable, but I really expect it from you. I expect a gigantic progress from you. So, I am waiting for your success. If you are waiting for it with impatience, I look forward. I can say I'm looking forward to, or I look forward. We often, see it in present simple. I look forward to your success, which might happen suddenly or unexpectedly, overnight. It will be an overnight success. To a success which might happen overnight. Never surrender. If you're going to use a phrasal verb, you can say never give up. Never give up. Never give up, my friends. Really, never give up. Last but not least, as you might have already guessed, looking at your titanic efforts, diligence, and perseverance, I expect a gigantic progress from you, so I look forward to a success which might happen overnight. Never give up. Last but not least, as you might have already guessed, looking at your titanic effort, diligence, and perseverance, I expect a gigantic progress from you, so I look forward to a success which might happen overnight. Never give up. My friends, thank you very much. To sum it up, I'd like to point out that I really look up to your titanic efforts, and just keep up the good work. See you soon. Bye-bye.